May
Wait,
17th.
I'm about to sneeze. Wait, it's going away now. Fuck, sorry.
Oh shit! Now it's locked and loaded.
I know it's gonna come.
All right, Big Bang, it's a rundown. It is Wednesday. It's May 17th. It's myself, Eddie. We have Clem. We have Glenny Balls. Just a delightful crew today, I must say. How's everybody feeling, Clem? I'll pass the ball to you first.
I'm with my big boys right now. This is good vibes, good big bones right here. So a good stock we have right now.
When I got the text from John Rich, we were doing the rundown today. I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it. And then he said, oh, it's Eddie and Clem. I said, damn, that's good karma. I'm excited about this.
When I got the text, I said it was really. I heard Smitty was potentially in the mix. I said I'm not doing it with any Philadelphians, and they're like Smitty's off, Glenny's in. I was like, sold. Let's go. So
the boys.
Beautiful. So we'll start here in the NBA. Nuggets take game one against the Lakers. Tonight's game one. Heat, Celtics. Victor Wembanyama looks like he's going to San Antonio with the first overall pick. Clem, where are you at? Are you still the Knicks are dead? Are you and Glenn? I know you like the Knicks, right?
Yeah, I don't really watch, but yeah.
Yeah. Are you out on the NBA at this point? Or are you like you're still licking your wounds? What do you think?
No, I've never been more in than I have in like years, because when your team is like in it and they don't just like are irrelevant from March on, and you're just like, oh, I hate this goddamn sport so much. So having like that pain that I haven't felt in, I mean, years, honestly, it feels good just to like feel something again, right? Instead of just being numb to everything. So I'm very much in on it, and watching like a guy like Jokic do what he did. And I'm at the point now as a Knicks fan where we probably weren't going to win the championship. Glenny, on the last time we did the rundown together, Glenny was like, I'm going to just, bandwagon it up, bleed orange and blue, which I love. I love when people get on, and even the casual basketball fans. It was great. It's over. And now I just want Jokic to steamroll everyone. And it's like, we would have never had a shot, even if somehow we found a way past the Heat. So watching a guy, I mean, he almost had a triple-double in like the first fucking quarter last night. The guy is out of this world, man.
Glenny?
Go Knicks.
Bong.
The draft lottery last night was interesting. I was kind of keeping up with that. I know the NHL one was last week, so it's interesting to see. I guess can't remember the last time there was two like generational talents. I mean, kind of fucked up the Spurs got him. Is it though? I don't really know.
I don't like it. I was looking at the end there. I kind of want him to go to Portland, because if he's good right away, maybe he makes something happen with Dame. And I like Dame. I think he's a very.
What if Dame comes to the Knicks though? Isn't that a thing, Clem?
We have a point guard. I love Dame. If you ask me basically any other year until we got Jalen Brunson, but at this point it's like we already have a point guard, and two small guards could be a problem.
That's how out of touch I am. I forgot that Brunson's the point guard, and I know Brunson is obviously the king of New York.
Brunson is. You guys have a totem pole of who you want to win? Like you're like out of the four, like who would you be most okay winning? How does it rank for you?
The team's in it now?
Yeah, it's a team. The four teams that are left.
Nuggets is one for me. Heat is probably 4, because that goes back to the 90s, like that kind of hatred.
Yeah.
I don't have any hate. I know a lot of like New Yorkers hate Boston, like Yankees, Red Sox. I'm a Mets fan. I imagine me and Glenny root for the Red Sox when the Mets are dead, because it's all our Yankee fans shut up in our lives when the Red Sox win. So I really wouldn't have a problem with the Celtics winning, especially because that's good for Barstool. I imagine we push a ton of merch. And then I guess the Lakers. I've never been a LeBron guy. After he left the Cavs for the decision, that's when I was done with LeBron, because I'm a dumb idiot Knicks fan who thought we were getting LeBron, and we didn't, as usual.
That is one thing I always say, Clem. I never got that. I know the Boston, New York thing, Yankees, Red Sox, of course. Like in Entourage, Turtle, you guys got to go tell Tom Brady he sucks balls because he's a Giants fan. I literally never got that. I know so many Giants fans that say they hate the Patriots, and in my brain, I'm always telling myself, what have the Patriots done to us?
I love the Patriots. It's God's honest truth. I've always liked the Patriots. They had Parcells in the 90s. They got Belichick, who, as a Giants fan, Parcells and Belichick were like the formidable part of my football rooting childhood. And then, like, I've never had beef with them winning Super Bowls. They beat the Eagles that first time, again, with T.O.
Beat them twice.
And then, like, the greatest moment of my sports fan life was beating the Patriots as a Giants fan, So I don't understand the undefeated Patriots. So I'll never get that kind of stuff.
I mean, I know a lot of Giants fans that say that. Do you know any?
I know a few. It's a lot of times it's Mets Giant Gypsies. It's the Gypsy fans like us. It's the Yankees fans who are like the ones who have the real passion because of the Red Sox.
Well, the
and
few
all
I
that.
know are Yankee fans as well, so that makes sense.
What
I
about
mean, it's
Chicago,
easy for
Eddie?
you guys to let your nuts hang because you guys beat them in 2 Super Bowls. So it's like,
Yeah, they should hate us for that more at this
Correct.
point, you know? Like,
correct.
and
Right.
there is like I love Jerry Thornton. I've talked to him a few times, and like it inevitably comes back to Giants Patriots, and you just see like the life kind of just go out of his eyes, and it's like, sorry, man, like that's
Yeah.
tough. I try to keep that shit like tucker back. What about you, Eddie? Who are you rooting for as a Chicago guy in all this?
Number one, obviously, I'm rooting for Jimmy.
True.
He played his ass off for the Bulls, so I'd love to see him get one, especially because obviously Hero's down. Like they're just kind of they're the 8th seed. They're just kind of an underdog team. They're just kind of a scrappy team, which I know you guys don't relate to because you guys are Knicks fans. But
they're us. They're what the Knicks were back when
Yeah.
Riley was here. He just brought it to Miami and has done it for like 25 fucking years, other than when they had LeBron and shit. They had a super team, but he does what he did here, right?
yeah, so the Heat are my number one just solely for Jimmy. Number 2, Nuggets for sure. 3, Boston. You guys are also overlooking the Barstool effect too. Like they've made Boston a little hateable as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
definitely.
like, that's just a fact. And then 4 would be LeBron.
Okay, I understand the Jimmy thing is like deep, obviously deep rooted. Can I at least, again, this is a big boys podcast. Jokic is like the unit's god at this point. Like young Jokic just with the titties out as like a 10-year-old. That's our guy right there. Like he's our god.
Yes. That's a fact. If a Nuggets Heat championship, I would really enjoy.
Yeah.
When I know that's fucked up because the world
Adam Silver will shoot himself in the head or will
I
be
think
killed
that'd
by
be some
David
pretty
Stern's ghost
ball.
if that happens.
but like a Celtics Lakers would be so entertaining just because of the Portnoy factor, and obviously it's like the greatest basketball rivalry there is. So
there is something, and you guys like sports fans will respect this. That yellow and green just goes so well on the court together. I'm sure it's just from seeing it so many times, but it is like you just get those vibes. I wasn't even like, I don't remember the 80s games, like all the finals and shit, but it's just one of those things, like it just takes you back, obviously takes you back to when you had Pierce and Kobe and all that. So there would be something special. I didn't even like really, it didn't sink in that Celtics Lakers finals could happen. That would be
it's a hell of a clash.
I will say this though about the lottery. I'm a huge lottery guy. I'm a Knicks fan, obviously. So this has basically been like the highlight or low light of my year, basically, how it comes down to it. I hate it. I hate Wembanyama going to the Spurs because it's like they get David Robinson, they get Tim Duncan, and now they get like the next 7-foot super fucking wonder. I'm sorry, Glenny.
I have a question, as I know you're the NBA guy here. Have they always done the draft lottery?
No, they actually, I believe. So the first time they did it was
wasn't Ewing a draft lottery with the envelope?
He was the first one, and that
say.
was the infamous frozen lottery, the envelope, and they like Patrick Ewing just happened to end up in New York as like the great hope.
So I saw the tweets last night though about Robinson and Duncan too. So they won the lottery for both Robinson and Duncan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I went on the Wikipedia page and yesterday the Tim Duncan's Wikipedia page just said like, oh, the Spurs went whatever it was, 23 and fucking 62 or whatever. And they didn't say that they won the lottery. So they won the lottery for Robinson, Duncan, and now this guy too?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And the year they got Duncan, Robinson got hurt, and then they just shut him down at the end. They're like, they're not going to bring him back because obviously everyone knew Tim Duncan was coming up in that draft. So they've hit Robinson, Duncan, and now this guy who's so much fucking fun to watch. However, as a Knicks fan, and I like Eddie, a Chicago guy, I also don't want him in the East. So I was like, like if he's in Charlotte, I don't have to worry about him. And then I kind of this fucking guy, Mark Tatum, the guy who does the envelopes, he is like, I had Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller as my boogeymen as a child. I'll tell you right now, Mark Tatum is the boogeyman for Knicks fans because that guy just comes up and every single time he just pulls out our name and the Knicks haven't gone up, Glenny, in the lottery since the Patrick Ewing lottery. They either drop or they stay the same. So this year we needed the Mavericks to drop. There was a 19% chance the Mavericks would drop. We get their pick at 11 instead of 10. Mavericks stay at 10. We don't get their pick. And this fucking guy, Mark Tatum, just has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. He knew what he was doing. My guy, Jack Coleman, he's a Knicks fan. He knows what's going on. He's shaking his head. So that pissed me off. But the biggest thing was you send these representatives, and like, again, I'm very well versed in the lottery and all the different things that go into it. Sending a representative for your team should be like the number one most important thing if you want to win the lottery. And once I saw Brandon Roy get sent for the Trailblazers, I'm like, they're not winning. Like, that dude is awesome. I love him. That guy is cursed, man. Like, he's just star-crossed. You can't send him out there and expect to come home with the 1 pick. They got the 3 pick. That could be a very good pick. And then like the Rockets send an Ime out there. That guy broke Nia Long's heart. That guy does not deserve fucking the number 1 pick at all. So I was happy the Rockets didn't get it. And whatever, the grand scheme of things, like, it's probably best for the NBA. This guy goes to a place that knows how to develop big men and like isn't a complete shit show of a franchise.
Speaking of number 1 picks, Ed, are you in on the Hawks now or what?
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, you get someone like that. I was so into the lottery, and I was following the season more this year than like the year before because of how bad we were. And it's like, oh, this is a possibility. So I've been locked in. We got 2 number 1 picks. I was hoping we were going to get a third and somehow get that 1.8% shot and get Wembanyama. Imagine that. Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks. That'd be fucking crazy. But
yeah, like Clem said, though, I was just hyped that he was in the West. That's great. Just get out of there. Go back there.
For sure. Second topic here. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle say they were in a 2-hour car chase with paparazzi in New York City. Glenny, what do you got in the paparazzi there?
Yeah, I saw this article today. It's like not. I don't want to say it's impossible, but like we work in Manhattan. You can't have a 2-hour car chase in Manhattan. That's like not a thing. I love car chases. You see car chases. They happen on the outskirts of LA. They happen in Oklahoma. They happen in Arizona on freeways. They don't tend to happen in Manhattan, where you quite literally can't drive. You can't.
What was it, bumper to bumper, where they just like kept?
Yeah, was it a bumper to bumper near catastrophic car chase in Manhattan? I don't know. I don't think you can have a 2-hour car chase in Manhattan. It's not a thing.
Yeah, they said the paparazzi reportedly hit a car, nearly ran over a police officer. At one point, the two ditched their SUV and hopped into a cab to get away.
And they also, apparently the NYPD has no not recollection, but no
record
of this happening.
Right? Yeah, record of anything happening.
Yeah.
But you can't do a 2-hour car chase going down 8th Avenue. That's impossible.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to shut down blocks upon blocks and like to do even like film a car chase scene for a movie, right?
You need a police motorcade for the car chase to even happen.
I first of all, like, what's the point of the car chase too? If you're in like an SUV with everything blacked out, they're not going to get pictures of you. So like, is the guy trying to like pull over the van and like make you roll down the window? I don't understand what the point of a car chase is. Like, just drive regular, and like if you're blacked out, they can't get that's the only thing the paparazzi wants is pictures. So, and again, like I don't want to victim shame here, but like Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, I know them in the royal family is like the relations are strained or whatever, like basically cut off. I feel like the paparazzi, you go out one of their people, like they'll disappear your ass. Like the Crown could do that in England, can't they?
I mean, also, like, are we still fucking talking about these two? Like,
do you think it's fake? Do you think it's a setup? So then we're talking about them again?
I don't know. I maybe not. They're getting fucking huge Spotify contracts. They're doing documentaries. I don't know. And I know that's like not a novel, like it's not that's not a crazy take, because a lot of Americans feel that way, where it's like, what are we even doing here? But I don't know. I'm definitely in that camp.
I'm just trying to think logistically of how this happened. You only see car chases happen in New York in like Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man's like web slinging towards people. That's all that happens.
The only place I could think is the FDR, right?
On the West Side Highway. Like, where else could there be a car chase? Realistically,
where else?
In all honesty, where else could there be a car chase?
2 hours, you could basically hit the entire fucking city. You could drive the entire island.
It was like 1 a.m. on the West Side Highway, or the FDR. Where else did this happen? I don't understand.
Yeah, I couldn't even picture a motorcade blocking Manhattan. Like, does that happen? Like, how often does
we block up streets sometimes?
When the president comes for like the UN and shit, it grinds to a halt in that area. But you could be in one area of Manhattan and then not even know it's happening in another area. Yeah. That's the way the city works.
Like 2 Saturdays ago, I left my laptop at work and I just wanted my laptop for the weekend. So I drove to Manhattan. I live 45 minutes away, no traffic. I drove into Manhattan at 1 o'clock. I got home at 6 p.m. because they were just blocking streets off. And it took me 2.5 hours to get to work. It was on a Saturday afternoon. It was 45 minutes, no traffic. It took me 2.5 hours. I just don't think it's I don't want to say it didn't happen, but it sounds unlikely.
It's kind of like South Park, right? When South Park says like, why are you guys talking about us? And then they make you talk about them again by getting mad about you talking about them. Now they're back in the news. We're going to have another like news cycle with them. I will say the smartest thing they did, it says they were in the SUV and then they got out and went into a cab. New York taxis will drive more reckless than anybody, any paparazzi motherfuckers. Those guys will get you there. It may not be in one piece, but they will like take very extreme liberties with like traffic signals and stuff like that.
I mean, maybe they took it to Brooklyn or Queens. They were on the BQE. I don't know.
I like your radar, Glenny. Your radar's strong today. Strong today.
What do you mean?
Next topic here. EA Sports says NCAA football will be back next summer. It's going to include real player names. That sounds like they're going to scan all their faces and all their image and likeness will be in there. And one report says that the players will be paid $500 each for the rights to their name. Clem, great news, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is like the thing. It's been going on since basically they killed it, right? Everyone wanted it back. It almost became like a meme where it's like all men want is, and it's like NCAA football to come back. I was always a Madden guy. I know there's some people that kind of overlap in the Venn diagram, but there's usually Madden guys, NCAA guys. I'm much more of a NFL guy than a college football guy, but I'm truly happy for everyone out there that's getting their NCAA football. I'm going to say this though, guys. Like, it's going to be so fucking hard to hit the anticipation everyone has for this game. People waiting for a decade. It's just, I hope it hits and everyone is like happy, gets their dynasty modes or whatever. Everything is great. It's crazy that it took all this time to get this game back and the players are getting $500 a piece for it. Like, that's all it took was $500 a fucking player.
Hey, it's interesting. I mean, NCAA football, I've had it a few times. Like you, Clem, I'm definitely more of an NFL guy when it comes to the games, but I'm a simple man. I want us to be able to see player names. It just seems so much cooler. What was Reggie Bush at USC 5?
Mm-hmm. Yep, RB5 or whatever, HB5.
I don't want to see 5. I want to see Bush. If they were smart, they would make like all-time teams because I feel like people will play more all-time teams than current teams.
Oh man, play the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah,
I just love the
01 Hurricanes and have all them in there. Plays the fucking 04 Trojans, 05 Trojans. Recreate the 05 06 Rose Bowl. I'm happy it's back. I hope they do like history teams because that's what the people want. I want to be able to play as Vince Young and see Young. I want to see the name. That's how dumb I am. I just want to see the name.
No, that makes all the difference in the world. And I mean, anyone, like when you're a kid, you have all the time in the world. Like you could go in and manually do that or at least do your team or whatever. I think now you could probably download the roster patches and all that. But it does make all the difference.
I want to play as Caleb Presley.
Yes. Oh, being Caleb would be sick. I remember the
hit up Caleb and have a Caleb in there. That would be sweet.
The old March, it was always weird when a guy didn't look like a guy. I remember the old March Madness game had Zach Randolph, and he was a giant redhead white dude. And I'm like, that's definitely not Zach Randolph. But it was him in the game. Like, it was all the tributes and all that stuff on Michigan State.
Now, Clem, you actually just scared the shit out of me when you said that because you're correct. Because, like, the truth is, sports games kind of stink now. Hope they get it right after all these years because it kind of feels like that last time they made it was like right when things started to go downhill, right? So was it 14?
Yeah, 14. And yeah, I do feel like every year since then, it's just been bitching online about nothing changing. And these guys are basically remaking a whole new game. So they're not going to worry about all the little tweaks. Obviously, in a year or two, it might get better. But again, I'm a Madden guy. I buy it every year. It's just like, they have my money. I'm going to play it. I'm going to complain about the same shit. And it's just never going to get better. And maybe again, dude, I'm so old. I put up I Googled the other day, video games for old people. Because I'm like, Madden's too fucking much for me now. I just want to sit on my couch and kind of be brainless and play it, you know?
Yeah, something happened to Madden where it's like, where did we lose this? Where did this get lost?
Yep. Sometime around the Vision Cone. I hate that thing. There's a few people at our company who love it. I hated that thing.
I hated that.
These sports games, you should just be able to buy the franchise or just update it. Yeah. That's what they should realistically do. Like I want to just buy NHL, and every year I could do the update. It'll maybe cost $30, and I could update the game, update the roster and shit. That's all that matters, realistically, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Caleb too for being the best backup quarterback to appear in an NCAA football game ever. I'm not going to say anyone else at the company who might have been in there because I know it's going to eat them up inside.
Arizona Coyotes. It sounds like their last bid for a stadium was rejected, and the relocation seems imminent. Glenny, thoughts on the Coyotes?
Shout out Biz. I mean, the Coyotes, it just seems like hockey isn't the biggest thing in the desert, which I guess is very fair. I know they're looking at maybe Quebec City for relocation. I'm assuming it would be a lot bigger in Quebec City. It's just tough when you have a college team playing. I mean, a NHL team playing in a college arena, and it's weird too because I feel like Phoenix, like it seems like there's Suns fans out there, but just hockey in the desert, I guess, isn't a big match, and maybe feel like everyone should cut our losses and move on. I don't know.
So yeah, it said the some of the cities that were there were Houston, Utah, Atlanta, and Kansas City. I think if you were a team that was in Canada, came to the US, just like the Jets did, they went to Phoenix, and now they're like basically they failed. It's like every kid that went to the big city and got chewed up and spit out, they have to go back to Canada now. Now I know the Jets are back in Winnipeg. Those Jets go to Quebec. They get the Nordiques back, which those fucking sweaters, that outfit, that name, was
one of the best
beautiful.
hockey jerseys of all time.
Incredible. In 94, they were a menace. Joe Sakic, Sundin, an absolute fucking force to reckon with. So I think they should, if you're a Canadian team originally, you have to go back to Canada. And I'm almost at the point where any team that fails in the US has to go back to Canada. Just they love that shit up there. Or my other city, bring back the whale. Let's go to Hartford. Let's bring back Brass Bonanza. Come on. We got to be in for the whale, right?
I don't know. That's a lot of Rangers Brewers fans that are gonna have to drop their allegiance for the Whalers. But what'd you say were the other cities? Salt Lake,
Houston, Utah, Atlanta, and Kansas City. I kind of like
Atlanta just had a team.
I know.
That's true. They did.
They literally just had a team. I was just like literally had a team like 10 years ago. They're the Jets, but they friggin'. I feel like Utah would be kind of good. I think Kansas City would be good. But I don't see like Houston or Atlanta. Why would they go to? What's the difference between Houston, Atlanta, or Phoenix?
What would be the funniest if like Biz became a part and was like big with the Coyotes franchise? Biz living in Utah. I mean, that's a hell of a series you could do there, right?
I mean, Atlanta. There's still players playing in the league that were on the original Thrashers.
Yeah, you're right. I went to Mullet Arena. Biz, when I went out to Arizona, Biz got us tickets, and that's Arizona State's hockey stadium, and it
looks awesome.
Like 5,000 people. It's so sweet to watch a hockey game. Like you're sitting that close to the action, watching, Cal McCarr and all these fucking awesome players. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's sweet if you don't care about the team, but if that's your team, that's obviously, it's not where you want to be. You don't want to be playing in a college arena. So we'll see where they go. I would vote Kansas City though. Last topic here, Disney World brawl. There was a bloody fist fight that broke out at Disney World's Magic Kingdom yesterday. The incident was allegedly over a photo. One family asked another to move so they could take a picture. It resulted in a fight. Clem, you're the Disney guy.
Yep. I blogged this one. I said I went to Disney twice in a month. All right. So I'm pretty fresh from there. I went with some my kids and then some grown kids. Right. I went with Portnoy, Robbie, Jeff, and Ken, Jack, and Austin. And listen, man, you're just so fucking tired when you're there. Portnoy was gassed at 1:30 the day we went. He's like, yo, how are you going to do this for a week? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. We sat down at that table, and then Dave ate his pizza and then, flew back, and we had the rest of our day. And then I did it with my family. You're just so fucking tired. It's hot. You're paying out the fucking dick for everything. There's just so much that goes into it. I'm actually at the point where I'm like, how are there not more fights? And I know it's the happiest place on earth and all that shit, but you just get two dads that have had a tough day with their kids. You're in like a 1-bedroom hotel, right? For like the entire week. You know how much you're paying. The kids are going to complain. You just, bump shoulders with someone. You're waiting on like, Eddie, the lines there are basically, you go to any ride at Disney that's like halfway decent, 90 minutes to like 3 hours is how long you're waiting on a line for like a 60-second ride. The fact that there's not fights every single day and it's a fight club, even with all like the happy shit and the employees always smiling at you, is kind of a miracle. And this thing, it took place at a photo spot. I think we've all been at the point with our parents where they want you to get in front of the castle or whatever, take the picture. Nobody wants to take that picture except for mom. No one's smiling. And if like someone's going to get in your way or get in the way of your picture, you're going to have a fucking fight. It's just that simple.
I don't know, Clem. Last time we were on this rundown, we talked about that, the umpire parents. This gives me the same umpire parent type of energy. This gives me the same type of energy as the guy that's getting in fights with the umps at his kid's little league game. I mean, obviously, I'm equating Disney World to a little league game. It's definitely a family-oriented kid arena. You got to keep your cool. You got to keep your cool with these things. Disney adults are weird already, and then you go with your kids, you're getting into fights. It just sounds like a bad vibe here, and I'm not about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. And again, it's hard to like want to kick someone's ass while It's a Small World is playing in the background and someone's eating a fucking like Mickey Mouse ice cream bar. But the most impressive thing is when this guy gets into a fight, the entire family just pounces on him like a bunch of hyenas, and they're all wearing the same Disney shirts. And I'm like, yo, you don't fuck with a family that all wears the same shirts, man, because that's like basically getting into it with a cult.
It is interesting to think about though. Like I've only been to Disney as a kid, and I went when I was in high school for my high school class trip, which sounds so bougie. I'm sorry about that. But it's crazy to think about when you go, when you're a parent going, knowing how expensive it is. There's a lot of pressure to make your kids have fun. That's a scary friggin' prospect.
I mean, Clem, you say it's hard to fight when there's It's a Small World playing in the background. I think people would argue that it's easier to fight when you mix that in, the heat buzzing off the blacktop, like the most magical place on earth. There really is a lot to be agitated about.
If there was almost an adult comedy around the day at Disney, I could envision there being a fight scene too. It's a Small World, after all, on in the background.
Yeah, no, and that's very fair points. Very fair points. The funniest thing is this takes place outside the park before you even get in. I'm telling you, these are just guys who their dogs are barking. It's been like 4 days. This is their last park. Their bank account's on zero, and the kids haven't said thank you once. And it was like, it's kind of like in Bronx Tale. It wasn't even over the parking spot. It wasn't over the, photo op. It was just two people that were ready to fucking blow some steam off. Robbie and I, when we were at the Disney Boys trip, there was the fireworks, which again, you people who wait for hours to be in the same spot to watch the fireworks throw for maybe 15 minutes. And this guy was like, what did you say? And he goes, you fucking heard me. Don't stand in my way. And I was like, boys, I got the phone out, was about to hit record. Like the fact we don't have more Disney fights is kind of a miracle when it's all said and done.
Also, they all kind of blend in for me as well. Like the same setting, you just see the blacktop, you see like the manicured landscaping with the rope. To me, it's just like I'm watching the same fight. You might as well swap it out like Street Fighter, and you're at Ryu's play. I don't know who they're fighting. You know what I mean? It's just another battle. So it never, nothing really stands out to all these fights. It's all like there's a setting kind of blends in with everyone.
Have we had any fights on the panel here? Been in like any legit fights in public?
No,
not here.
No.
Glenn,
What do you mean?
have you really got into a fight with someone when you were younger?
8th grade. Yeah.
One?
wow.
Yeah, one.
Win or loss or draw?
I think it was a dub.
Ooh, all right. We're 1-0 on the panel.
I remember
Undefeated,
drinking a
baby.
Diet Coke during it and I remember drinking a Diet Coke during it. We did like rounds. We did like
What's
4
his
rounds.
fucking name, Glenn?
I'm not doing names here. Come on. It was
Was
8th
this
grade. I think
like-
it was 7th grade, maybe.
Give me
Was
a
this like
first
at the
name.
buses afterwards? Like, was it this?
We had
You're doing rounds and
a
shit.
kid's backyard. We literally would call it the Thunderdome. Where like anytime anyone fought, it would be this kid's yard. And there was like bushes that blocked it from the street. I always remember I walked to my friend's house, stopped at the convenience store. I got a Diet Coke. I was literally drinking a Diet Coke during the fight. I was fucking. It was grind, dude. It was grind.
What do you mean you were drinking a Diet Coke during the fight? Well,
I literally between rounds, I was drinking a Diet Coke. It was great.
Did you have the DK tattoo at that point? At 17?
Yeah, I had a tattoo in 7th grade.
I just envision you coming out to the DK donkey.
I did see that movie recently. That was fantastic.
That was great. I smiled audibly when that scene came up and they played the music. Wow, Diet Coke between rounds. That's some good stuff. You sure
I
you don't
thought
wanna-
he was like doing it during the fight, like one hand, he's like holding the kid back and just taking a swig, like Mike Francesa.
Like literally, we're doing browser. I remember asking my buddy Billy. I was like, Billy, Diet Coke.
Yeah. Have you Clem? I mean, I've been in like, scuffles, but nothing like let's square up.
No, like you'd have like, near the neighborhood, hey, like let's have a
Yeah.
wrestling match or something like that. But I've never been a fighter.
Yeah. No. All right.
I don't know about you, Eddie, though. Like Eddie, that's why I asked. It was almost like I thought Glenny 50-50 chance, but like young Eddie, earrings, kind of a pretty boy, might, like Chicago schools. I don't know what I have in Eddie.
Yeah, no, I mean, fights were very prevalent. Like I've been, in the middle with my buddies and whatever. And there's been like brawls, I guess, where you're like but I've always been like, fighting's fucking stupid, So I'm more like breaking it up. Maybe you catch a stray. I got my hat knocked off one time. I was like a fucking rock'em sock'em robot. Shit like that happened. But as far as like a one-on-one, like I got beef with this guy now.
Have you ever been punched in the face?
Me?
Yeah.
Not like a straight, like square
Same.
up. No.
I had a guy, he was drunk at a pizzeria. It was in college, and he was just like all over himself. Like everyone was just like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? And we're all just like, look at this guy. And he like just locked in on me, and like he punched, but it was like a blackout drunk punch. It kind of just like grazed me, but it was kind of like, oh, is this like go time? And then his friends started getting tough. And then me and my friends just like stood up and like, hey man, sorry, he's really drunk. He's really drunk. Like it was pretty funny to see. So that's the closest I've gone to a punch in the face. Glenny just took it and was digging Giant Cokes when he was done with it.
No, that fight was 7th to 8th grade. There wasn't even like punches in it. We were just like throwing each other around.
Oh yeah,
It was like a horrible form of wrestling. There was no. I don't think one person connected a punch.
Yeah, I've done that for sure. Okay, that makes sense.
It was definitely a 1v1, but like there was no like it wasn't a boxing match.
Yeah. Drinking Diet Coke between rounds.
It was basically a glorified wrestling match.
Did you get that Diet Coke being like, in case I get thirsty during this fight, I'm gonna need to rehydrate?
I passed the convenience store and bought it on the way.
That's incredible. That's incredible. All right, that was kind of the after show. Unless if you guys got anything, McAfee signed for $10 million a year with ESPN. That's one thing on the note here that's obviously of news. Anything else? Anything on that? What do you guys think?
Good for Pat. I always like Pat. I met him once a couple times, met a couple of his buddies when they would come to New York, the co-hosts and stuff like that. Good dude. It's funny. So on Reddit, I don't know if you guys go on Reddit at all, but like, it's kind of like with like the Twitter shit where you'll get like suggestions from other boards or whatever, like, so I'll get like the Pat McAfee show. I'm like part of the community or whatever, but I'll just get their posts in my thing because they're trying to get you to join it. And it's so funny. Like, Pat sold out. Everything's going to change now. And it's like reading a Barstool thing after, we get another investor or, sold or whatever. It's like everyone's all the Pat fans are kind of the way that the Stoolies are whenever anything happens here. So it's good to know it's not just us. Now, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how everything changes with ESPN because it's like, I know they had all the layoffs and stuff and $10 million to Pat, but like, you always do worry when you go to the worldwide leader, they kind of just sterilize it. Yeah. You're literally owned by Disney. That's a good point, Glenny.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, it's a valid point, but I mean, smart move by them. I mean, obviously Pat and his crew are huge and, they draw real numbers and they do a good job. So it's,
congrats.
Smart.
Hell yeah.
All right, Don. That's it.
Anything else, fellas?
I don't know more about this fight. I feel like we're just like peeling the onion back on Glenny. I need to know something else he's been in here that I go to.
I'm not a fight guy.
No.
That's no fights. All right, then, fellas. This was fun. Great to chop it up.
We'll have you in the run in New York soon, Ed. We got the dozen tournament coming up, so we'll all sing Kumbaya together here.
Yep, I'll be there next week. Glenny, you want to wrestle, drink Diet Cokes? I'm in.
I'd love to, brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. That's the rundown.